EastEnders marked Lucy Beale's anniversary with a Cindy Williams Jr. update. Cindy reconnects with family amidst Lucy's memorial, distracted by a kiss with ex-husband George Knight. Memories of Lucy resurface, Ian comforts her. Cindy receives a heartwarming text from daughter Cindy Jr., hinting at a possible return to Walford. Flashbacks reveal Cindy's past struggles and secrets, impacting her present reunion with the Beales. Bobby Beale's complex family history intersects with Anna Knight's, creating potential complications in their relationship. EastEnders airs heartwarming update on Cindy Jr. amid Lucy Beale memorial. EastEnders has offered a fresh update on absent character Cindy Williams Jr. on the 10th anniversary of her half-sister Lucy Beale's death. Ian Beale and son Peter Beale arranged a gathering at the Vic to remember their beloved Lucy, with this also being the first time her mother Cindy Beale was present to mourn with her loved ones since she emerged from witness protection last year. Cindy was distracted by her passionate kiss with ex-husband George Knight, but she was left upset when her memories of Lucy, which were limited to the first 5 years of her life, appeared to have been misremembered by her. Ian attempted to make Cindy feel better by backing her up, but as everyone chatted over Lucy's stubborn, clever attitude as an adult, Cindy retreated to visit George at the boxing den. There, George admitted that he shouldn't have kissed Cindy, which forced her to agree that they were better off with their current partners. When Cindy returned to the pub, Ian prompted her to check her phone. She was heartened to find a text from daughter Cindy Jr., who she visited earlier this year to connect with for the first time. Cindy Jr.'s message read, "Hope you're okay, today," followed by a heart emoji. It transpired that Ian, who had grown close to Cindy Jr. when he cared for her as a teen, had got in touch with the young woman to tell her how much it would mean to Cindy to hear from her. With Cindy Jr. having slammed the door in face last time the pair saw each other, Cindy was grateful for this happy development. Cindy is currently in Germany, where she previously lived with now ex-boyfriend Liam Butcher. She was last seen on screen in 2015, having played a significant role in the aftermath of Lucy's murder storyline, with a particularly moving performance in EastEnders' live episode alongside Woodyot. With Cindy Jr. making contact at last, might we one day see her back in Walford to reunite with her mother? EastEnders airs shock Cindy Beale flashback to Marbella, Lucy's 2014 murder. We took a trip back in time to a dark chapter in Beale history. Unexpected flashback scenes to 2014 were aired during today's episode of EastEnders. As had been long teased by executive producer Chris Crenshaw and actress Michelle Collins, gaps in the history of Cindy Beale's unexpected survival and return have been filled in. This week's set of special episodes has seen Cindy return to Albert Square and share some tense reunions, including an explosive face-off with former mother-in-law Kathy Cotton before coming face-to-face with her estranged husband George Knight. In Tuesday's episode, Cindy went with George to the barrel store of the Queen Vic pub where he admonished her for her vanishing act on him and their daughters Gina and Anna 9 years earlier. However, Cindy defended her behavior and explained she was exactly who he thought she was and she only left them behind for her own good. George was not so trustful, however, and told Cindy to leave his life and those of their girls, who he maintained were not in Walford. Then, in flashback scenes, a black title card with white text confirmed that we were seeing scenes in Marbella, Spain, in 2014. After an exterior shot of a sunny villa, we see Cindy living her life as a Rose Knight with George while their daughters go out and he prepares to work at the bar, but a bitter and drinking Cindy accuses him of infidelity with his bar staff. Sat at home alone as she watched the news, Cindy received a call informing her that her eldest daughter Lucy Beale had been killed. Abruptly, Cindy began to pack her things to flee, with George interrupting her and accusing her of running away while denying he had never cheated but had faced ample opportunities to. While Cindy wouldn't explain her actions, she did go to leave and promised to return, but George told her that if she left then she could not return this time. Departing, the action then cut to Walford as we saw Cindy hiding behind the railings of the Albert Square Gardens at night as she saw her ex-husband Ian Beale emerge from the back exit of his house and head to the Queen Vic pub. Intercut with scenes from the episode confirming Lucy's death in 2014, fans will be aware of shots seeing Ian head to the pub to tell his son Peter Beale what had happened. Yet, Cindy's vigil was interrupted by her witness protection handler DCI Mary Nichols, who warned her that she had to come with her to protect her family. A street away, the pair sat in the police officer's car as she confirmed they had no idea what had happened to Lucy, but Cindy's return to London had potentially blown her cover, and if she returned to Marbella then she put the Knight family there at risk from reprisals from Jackie Ford, the gangster who Cindy had informed on. The pair were briefly interrupted by a surprise cameo from Arthur "Fatboy" Chubb Ricky Norwood, before it became clear to Cindy that she could neither comfort Peter nor return to her other family in Spain, as they would all be in danger. Outside the car, the cries of Peter after Ian informed him of Lucy's death could be heard. In the present day, Cindy made clear that Lucy's death had had nothing to do with Jackie Ford and instead had been the result of an accident, with fans aware a burst of violence from a young Bobby Beale had been to blame. Despite this, George made clear that he was broken following Cindy's disappearance, but he cared for his girls, and they in turn cared for him. Cindy made clear that she never stopped loving George, but their moment was interrupted by his future daughter-in-law Linda Carter, who feared he was cheating on her mother Elaine Peacock. During the discussion, it became clear to Cindy that Gina and Anna were in Walford, and she burst through to the main pub as daughter Anna prepared to blow the candles out of her 21st birthday cake and make a wish. As the entire room was shocked by the abrupt appearance of Cindy, including the few who knew her and thought her dead, Anna then opened her eyes and, shocked, exclaimed in disbelief, "Mum." The episode ended there, and tomorrow we'll see the fallout of Cindy and Ian's return to Walford played out. Now her survival is public knowledge. Who is Bobby Beale's mum in EastEnders, and is he related to Anna Knight? Troubled Bobby Beale has some messy family history. Bobby Beale is already a firm favorite with EastEnders fans, but it can be hard keeping track of the Beale family tree. This week has seen the explosive return of Ian Beale and his dead first wife Cindy Beale to Albert Square, shaking the cores of the Beale and Knight families. One person sure to be affected is Bobby himself, having not seen Ian in over 2 years and then also having never met Cindy, the mother of Bobby's half-sister Lucy, who he killed in 2014. Plus, what will this mean for Bobby's burgeoning relationship with Anna Knight? Amidst all of this confusion, one might be unsure of Bobby's own family history, so it's a good thing that RadioTimes.com has you covered. Who is Bobby Beale's mum in EastEnders? Bobby Beale's biological mother was Laura Beale in EastEnders. Born Laura Dunn, Ian met her when she became a nanny for his adopted son Stephen Beale and 2 biological children Lucy and Peter Beale in 2000. Having dealt with a tumultuous marriage to Cindy Williams and then a short-lived one to Mel, Ian seemed to settle down with sweet Laura. Following Laura's death, Ian would go on to marry Jane Collins, who would later adopt Bobby as her own son. It would be Jane who would initially cover up Bobby's involvement in Lucy Beale's death. What happened to Laura Beale in EastEnders? Ian Beale and Laura Dunn began their romance in 2000 and went on to marry in 2001. The pair had managed to survive Ian's difficult financial bankruptcy and subsequent mental health issues and came out of the ordeal stronger. The marriage faced issues, however, as Ian continued to be drawn to his former wife Mel, and the pair kissed. A spiteful Laura later kept Mel's business assets after they were signed over to her to save them from the authorities when Mel was being investigated. Mel told Ian and departed Albert Square after the death of her husband Steve Owen. Laura later was horrified to learn that Ian had been paying local prostitute Janine Butcher for sex, resulting in a guilty Janine confronting her and Laura throwing boiling milk over her, scolding Janine. While Laura wants to try for a baby, Ian doesn't want one and has an illicit vasectomy. Laura becomes pregnant and Ian reveals he can't be the father and throws her out after tricking her into signing her business assets back to him. After this, Laura informs married mechanic Gary Hobbs that he is the father of her unborn child after they had a drunken one-night stand. The news causes Gary's wife Lynn Slater to separate from him. In the aftermath, Gary and Laura move into a bedsit together and Laura goes on to give birth to her son Bobby, but Gary's relationship with Laura fails and he reunites with Lynn. However, Bobby falls sick and tests for a blood transfusion make clear that Gary is not the father of Bobby after all and that it is in fact Ian. Laura keeps this a secret from Gary and Ian. Laura soon gets appointed as the manager of Ian's former Bridge Street Cafe, now owned by his nemesis and former stepfather Phil Mitchell, and renames the cafe Laura's, leaving Ian furious. However, when Phil is driven from the square after troubles with the law, his sister Sam Mitchell sells the cafe back to Ian and he gleefully fires Laura. Following this, Laura struggles as a single mother despite support from Gary, and her feud with Janine escalates as her nemesis stops her from getting a job, so Laura sabotages Janine's business plans. Events get incredibly nasty, with the pair even coming to physical blows and doing so in Laura's flat, at the end of which, Janine swears revenge on Laura. A broken Laura decides to come clean to Ian that he is Bobby's father, but he is horrible to her, so she stays quiet and returns home, deciding to write him a letter confessing instead. Ian later changes his mind and pays a visit to the flat, and in a rush to answer the door, Laura runs and trips on one of Bobby's toys and falls down the stairs to her death. Laura's body is later discovered by her friend and Janine's former stepmother Pat Evans. Subsequently, Janine was arrested for Laura's murder following their physical fights and was held on remand, with Pat initially refusing to give Janine an alibi in revenge for Janine's murder of Pat's stepson Barry Evans. Thanks to a visit from Janine's father and her ex-husband Frank Butcher, Pat later relented and gave Janine her alibi, and she was acquitted of Laura's murder. Following Laura's death, Pat also found the letter confirming Bobby's paternity and informed Ian and Gary, the latter of whom had taken in Bobby with his wife Lynn. Blood tests would confirm Bobby's paternity, leaving Gary devastated, while Bobby went to live with his father, Ian. Is Bobby Beale related to Anna Knight in EastEnders? The pair do, however, share two half-siblings in the late Lucy Beale and older half-brother Peter Beale. As such, it is made slightly awkward between Bobby and Anna if they were to pursue a romance with a half-brother in common, but also due to the fact that Bobby killed his and Anna's mutual half-sister. Please subscribe our channel.